Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, has Ethereum finally done it? Become the first altcoin to truly decouple from Bitcoin, meaning that no longer follows Bitcoin's footsteps. When Bitcoin goes up, it doesn't go up, or I should say, take that back. When Bitcoin comes down, it doesn't go down as much, but when it goes up, it could go up even more. So let's take a look at Ethereum and also Bitcoin and what's going on in the world of crypto. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell. And follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest articles on CryptosRUs.com. All right, let's do this. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. Bitcoin is looking a little better today, even better than yesterday. You know, after the the B word conference, there was some volatility. Like during the B word, this happened. Bitcoin spiked up to 32.8 or something, then came back down to 31.5, then went sideways a little bit, and this morning just started creeping up a little more. Still stuck within this range that I've been talking about for quite some time, but we are looking better now than just a few days ago, right? And things are looking like they want to get back on track. So I think the one thing that a lot of people are looking at, people are like, okay, so at what point does Bitcoin really starts its upward trend again? Or we just go hover here for a while? What point should we look at? Well, if I'm zooming out a little bit, let's zoom out a little more here. I've drawn some lines here. Obviously, we had a resistance at around 36,000. And then, of course, we have one at 41,000. So obviously, we want to see Bitcoin climb back up to 36,000. Although many people are looking at the SMA 50. So if you actually look at the SMA 50, where is that? It's actually slightly below 36. So that's actually around 34.5. So actually, if Bitcoin could break through there and then go through 36, then we could go back up, right? But it's a start. It's a start. And I've been telling you guys not to give up, not to give in, not to panic sell, because there are better days ahead. There are much better days ahead. And right now, this does seem like we're back on our way. All right. So what are some of these better things? Well, I mean, there's too many to be discussing. I've been talking about every single day, but there are a few more headlines that are very, very positive for today. For example, all of a sudden, JPMorgan says that they're going to open up crypto trading to all of their wealth clients. Okay, previously it was a select few of their most wealthiest clients. Now, basically, they're saying any of their wealth clients, even self-managed ones, can go on and start buying crypto-related things. Now, I was looking at it. What does that mean? What could they buy? Can they actually just buy direct Bitcoin? No. You could buy trusts. Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust, Bitcoin Cash Trust, Ethereum Trust, Ethereum Classic, products. Interesting. They said products, not trust. Osprey's Funds, Bitcoin Trust, and we know that JPMorgan is also working on their own fund too. So that is also coming. But kind of a change in mentality from JPMorgan, who still has a lot of analysts coming out with articles saying, there's no institutional interest and this and that. Yet, all of a sudden, they're like, hey, you know what? We're going to open up Bitcoin trading or crypto trading for all of our wealth clients. So, again, it doesn't really make much sense if you think about it, right? But this is encouraging because, of course, people that are within their wealth management group are very wealthy individuals and families that have a lot of money who all want a piece or exposure to crypto. So this is pretty positive, and they are the very first major bank to do this, and I'm sure others like Goldman Sachs and Wells Fargo and others will probably join in the near future. So this is pretty positive for today. What else is there? Well, of course, coming out of yesterday's conference, the B word, it's very likely that Elon I'm sorry, Elon will probably announce that you can buy Teslas with Bitcoin again. And this is probably going to be sooner than later. I have a feeling it could be this week. And the reason being because Tesla's earnings is next week. So to get some kind of hype, endorsement, some win would be probably pretty good beforehand. Although maybe nothing will come of it. Because of the screwy accounting for Bitcoin, I forgot the exact term that is categorized as, but at any given time, if Bitcoin drops below what you bought it at, you have to declare it as a loss. Even though it may have come up and is in the green, you have to report as a loss. However, on the flip side, excuse me. However, on the flip side, if the Bitcoin that you bought is showing positive, that you had positive results from it and you've gained from it, you can't report that until you sell. So tell me how that accounting practice makes sense. If you're holding it and it goes below at any given point, you have to declare it as a loss. But if you're holding it and it goes up, you can't declare it as profit unless you sell it. So the accounting for Bitcoin right now is really, really screwed up. This is what Michael Saylor said in terms of why more corporations have not jumped in, because they don't want to take this risk. It doesn't make their books look good. It's putting a big risk. However, I believe it will be fixed, and eventually you're going to have a lot more companies coming in. And there are some companies that may have taken advantage of this recent dip. We know Apple's also reporting next week. Maybe they took advantage and they bought Bitcoin at 28,000, right? Maybe others have also done it. So we'll see. But I do think this is going to be announced sooner than later. All right. What else is there that's very positive? I saw this headline. Of course, this is not a positive headline, but I want to remind you guys how silly this headline is. Bitcoin is failing its first inflation test as sell-off deepens. Well, is it really? Because if you look at this and you look at how much the dollar has depreciated versus Bitcoin, did Bitcoin really fail its inflation test? Because the dollar has devalued itself 99.95% over the last 10 years. So no, Bitcoin did not fail its first inflation test. In fact, ever since its inception, it has been winning at the inflation test, and it has been appreciating over the last 10 years several million percent. So even 1 year ago versus today, the dollar depreciated 71% versus Bitcoin. So is this article really telling the truth? Is Bitcoin really failing its first inflation test? First of all, it's not the first inflation test. And second of all, it's not failing at all. It's just, again, you gotta look at the facts, okay? You gotta look at the data. You can't rely on these headlines, okay? These headlines are meant to scare you, meant to drive fear. That's how they get the views, right? But you gotta pay attention to what's really happening, and no, Bitcoin is not failing its inflation test. Okay, now that's Bitcoin right now. Okay. Oh, by the way, last Bitcoin news is this: Busta Rhymes, who recently tweeted out that he's curious about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you could say he's bi-curious, I guess. He said that he watched the conference last night and he is sold. Now he is officially holding Bitcoin. I don't know how much. And looking into ETH next. And that brings me to the main topic of today's stream. But before I get to that, I wanted to show you guys the Fear and Greed Index, which surprisingly is still hovering in the 20s. But I've been telling you guys, if you look at whenever fear or even greed, I mean, this is a pretty good top and bottom indicator. I mean, if you look at it over the long haul, it really is. So you could see that over here, obviously when there was a lot of greed and it was just clumped up basically at like 100%, well, yeah, that was actually a pretty good top indicator. But if you look at the bottom, when Bitcoin is hovering around this 10, 20 mark. Also, like previous times, pretty good bottom indicator as well. So we have been hovering here quite a bit. You see this huge cluster of fear. And if you're going by the contrarian view or contrarian trading, then you know that this is the time to buy. Right, like I said, who knows? Next week, there's some big earnings from big tech companies. Maybe one of them announces they have bought Bitcoin. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Now let's get to Ethereum. Okay. The reason why I think Ethereum possibly has decoupled from Bitcoin already. Well, I got the idea from this article. Decoupling ahead. This article talks about how there's 36-month correlation, so 3 years, right? But according to this article, it hasn't happened yet. But things like EIP 1559 could make it happen because 1559, which is set to basically be implemented, this upgrade is going to be implemented pretty soon, I think. The end of the month or beginning of August. Oh, wait, it's August. I think it was August 5th. August 5th or 7th. I forget the exact date, but it's coming. Basically, it adds deflationary aspects to Ethereum. Now, you'll have gas fees that's collected, and some of that will be burned. And according to this article, you could have up to 1 million ETH burned per year just from that. Now, it doesn't offset the inflation rate of Ethereum altogether, but it does help tremendously. Also, having DeFi projects and having staking and all this Ether also locked up in a beacon chain, they're all deflationary if you think about it, okay? So according to this article, we could see Ethereum decoupling as it moves towards Ethereum 2.0. And in fact, it will totally decouple when Ethereum 2.0 comes out. But here's the thing. This article is arguing that it will come. But I'm looking at the data and may have already occurred. That's the thing. And that's the surprising thing. So if you look at Live Coin Watch, so I purposely added a few more columns here. The performance of, so in total, the performance is 24 hours, 7-day, 38, 90-day, and 1 year. I can't go back beyond 1 year, but there's another site that could do that. But if you look at the top two, Bitcoin and Ethereum, first of all, the market cap is less than 3x away. Once upon a time, this gap was like 5x away, 6x away. It's been slowly closing. Now it's about 2.5x, away from each other. You look at the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has come up 0.5%. Ethereum has gone up 1.6%. You go back a week, Bitcoin has gone up 2.4%. Ethereum 6.22%. You go back 30 days, Bitcoin is about even. Ethereum is still up 6.4%. How about 90 days? Bitcoin has fallen 35%, but ETH only fallen 13%. And then you go back 1 year, even though Bitcoin has done very well, about 246% gain, Ethereum is up 729%. So this is what I was saying at the beginning. When Bitcoin falls, Ethereum falls a little bit less. And when Bitcoin rises, Ethereum rises even higher, right? Rises a little more. So if you're looking at this data, did Ethereum already decouple from Bitcoin? Well, you can make the argument that from a price perspective, yes, it holds better and it gains better too. But it's still moving in tandem, right? So if Bitcoin comes down, Ethereum still comes down. So you don't see where Bitcoin falls down, let's say 50%, and Ethereum gain 50%. We still haven't seen that yet. That would be true decoupling. But if you're looking at this, one can make the case that maybe it has decoupled already, sort of, halfway, or maybe 3/4 of a way, right? But one thing's for sure, Ethereum's performance and holding power at this point, going back a year, has been stronger than even Bitcoin. And that's quite amazing. There's not a lot of altcoins that have done this. Now, for those of you guys that are Ethereum, Cardano fans, Cardano is almost like that too. So you go back 1 year down here, Cardano's up more, 886%. Past 30 days, it's actually still up 8%, so better than Ethereum and BTC. But if you go back like 30 days, obviously not as strong. 7 days, not as strong. 24 hours, not as strong. But on a higher time frames, looks like it may have that kind of decoupling too, or that sort of decoupling, halfway decoupling. So it's very, very interesting. And why is this happening though? Why is Ethereum and possibly Cardano and several others, why have they been so strong? Or I should say stronger than Bitcoin, right? Why have they been stronger? Well, Cardano, I think it's just fully dependent on loyal holders and stakers, right? I've mentioned about Cardano, 72% of the total supply is staked. That's really it. There's not a whole lot of dApps that's operational right now, a lot of pending. But for Cardano, it's basically like almost blind faith at this point. Not blind faith, but just faith. But for Ethereum, I think it's obvious. I think Ethereum is very, very obvious. The big boys, the institutions, and retail investors, they see Ethereum as the path to or the foundation for DeFi and the next, and the next generation DeFi and NFTs and everything else that could possibly grow much bigger than where it is now. We know Bitcoin is store of value. Ethereum is a protocol. It's more foundation, an operating system for dApps. And we know DeFi has come in full swing this year, and NFTs as well. And both of them, the most popular ones, are on Ethereum, right? So it just makes sense that so many people now have faith in Ethereum. So there you go. And talking about Ethereum, really funny, Ashton Kutcher and his wife, they're just having a silly video where they're talking about, blockchain. And then all of a sudden, you see Vitalik sitting in the same room with both of them. It's like out of the blue that Vitalik just happens to be hanging out with Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. So, yeah. So that makes me think that Ashton's go do something with Ethereum. I mean, Ashton is a smart guy, a VC guy, invested in a lot of early stage projects, and he's also a Bitcoin guy. Mila Kunis, I think, recently said that Ashton got in very, very, very early. So he might be a Bitcoin billionaire already. But this makes me think that there's something else that they're cooking up. We know that Mark Cuban is fully into Polygon right now, invested heavily in Polygon. But who knows if this adds up to something. Maybe. A few more things. So according to Coinmetrics, if you look at Ethereum's Google Trends versus its price, obviously they have a correlation, but what's interesting about this is look at Ethereum back in 2017 in terms of their Google Trends. It was somewhere around here, and then now you could see it climbed up way higher, even though it dropped down because the price went down. And that's because retail investors, they like to panic sell. They don't like to stay in it for long haul. So it's obvious when they panic sell, they stop searching. So the Google Trends have dropped down tremendously for Ethereum, but it's interesting that it shot up basically more than double of 2017. Yet if you look at Bitcoin's Google Trends, it has not come to the same peak yet that it had in 2017. So Ethereum interest is definitely growing. Here's another one from Sentiment, which shows you accumulation. I've shown you guys similar things with Bitcoin, where you see the price coming down, but guess what the whales are doing? They're accumulating. Bitcoin's was pretty slow and rising. This is pretty obvious that a lot of whales are taking advantage of cheap ETH right now. Cheap ETH. So whales are buying behind the scenes, that's for sure. This is why I've always said we got to do what the big boys are doing. We got to follow what the whales are doing, right? Some of them drive FUD. Some of them will say one thing but do another, right? So you got to pay attention to what's really happening behind the scenes. And what's really happening behind the scenes is massive accumulation by the big boys. And that's what we need to follow. All right, last two pieces of news. One is, I find this very interesting, that Stellar Foundation, led by Jeb McCaleb, is thinking about buying MoneyGram. This would be a big black eye towards Ripple. We know MoneyGram was the biggest partner of Ripple. They were basically like, I don't know what percentage of their shares was bought by Ripple. Ripple was paying them XRP monthly or quarterly to be partners. And then ever since the SEC lawsuit, MoneyGram just wanted to distance themselves away from Ripple. Ripple sold off their shares. And now Stellar is coming in trying to buy them so that this partnership can't ever form again with Ripple, right? It's really, really interesting. Here's the thing, though. Stellar and Jeb McCaleb has to realize that they're very similar to Ripple. So if Ripple settles their lawsuit with SEC, Stellar may be next on the SEC's agenda. So they have to be careful, and MoneyGram has to be careful. But I just find this to be really silly. We know that Jeb McCaleb really hates Ripple. He wants to do whatever he can to take him down, basically. And this would be one of the ways to just basically steal one of their biggest partners. I just find this hilarious. All right, lastly, I want to address this because a lot of people ask me, and I'm not avoiding it. It's just there's not a whole lot of information. So today, Alabama regulators also accuse of BlockFi of offering unregistered securities, just like New Jersey. So the interesting thing is, New Jersey, they had a new attorney general come in, and day one, he basically sent a cease and desist to BlockFi, saying that you're selling securities or unregistered securities. Day one. Makes me wonder why. But anyways, I talked to BlockFi. Obviously, they're a partner of mine. I talked to them. They're like, we don't know what prompted this. We're a lending company. So they're working with them. The lawyers are actually working with them. Existing customers in New Jersey is still fine. It's for new customers. This is for stopping new customers from getting into BlockFi. But now Alabama is also coming, and they're alleging basically the same thing, though BlockFi is more of an interest, a lending company where you could deposit and earn interest. So I don't know where this is coming from. And BlockFi doesn't have any unusual crypto in their portfolio. Maybe because of Uniswap that was added recently. I don't know, because Uniswap is a DEX. But anyways, I just thought I'd just address this. I'm not hiding from it, but there's really not much more I could say. It's just, this is out of left field. And they're trying to solve it. But for existing customers, business as usual. It's more of the new customers, allowing new customers into the space. So as I get more information, I will let you guys know. All right. With that said, that's it. Ethereum. Well, I showed you guys this for Bitcoin, but Ethereum, still above 2,000. I noticed that it seems to have found like a bottom right here, around 1730. It bounced off of there 3 times, and now it's kind of like in this, I don't know, a wedge pattern, right? So we'll see what happens with Ethereum. But looking at the performance of the last year, I mean, this really shocked me. I did not expect Ethereum to be holding this well from from Bitcoin, right? So pretty interesting, pretty eye-opening. All right, let's do some Q&A. Rich says, "Sorry, I'm here. I was trolling Max Kaiser. Why do you need to troll Max Kaiser?" All right. Scrolling down. All right. A lot of ADA fans. I see nothing but ADA comments on top. What happened to all the Ethereum fans? I think ADA is a fantastic project. Obviously, I said it's led by Faith right now, or led by Charles, but I do think that shows you something, how strong the community is, right? And obviously, if you're trying to stake, check out Swag Stake Pool. They actually have some good videos. A lot of you guys are newcomers, right? Ooh, they updated a wallet. I mean, updated a website. It's very, very cool. But they do have a lot of videos, right? How to stake and so forth. So make sure you check it out. But this is a fancy new website for those of you guys that want to stake, because 72% is staked right now. But Ethereum, man, it's a beast right now. But besides Ethereum and Cardano, there's many others that are doing well, just not as well as those two. People are blaming Doge. Doge is not the reason why the market is where it is right now. All right. Jonathan, another miserable person, says, "You guys are so brainwashed, drinking the Kool-Aid. Can't watch." They're not drinking the Kool-Aid. They're trying to learn, Jonathan. Unlike what you're doing, you're trying to spread FUD because obviously you're miserable, you messed up, or you missed out on gains, or you're in a loss and you want to get out, but you're too afraid to. So you want to make others join you, so it makes you feel better. Jonathan, you know what? If you can't handle it, just leave. Just leave. Don't try to spread FUD. You know, there's too many people that's doing that already. Don't be among them. All right, scrolling down. Edgar says, "I made $1 million off of Doge." Well, congratulations. You can make money pretty much on anything. But you just have to be careful. With these meme coins, they go up very fast, but they also come down very fast too. Did you see what Vitalik said about social media and Ethereum? I did not. Probably not good things. Twitter, I have not been checking any comments, anything on Twitter. You know what? Twitter is really, really like toxic, and it gets in your psyche because there's too many know-it-alls that will tweet and troll and do whatever. And if you just take time to read all of them, it will really change your perception of things. And that's why I highly recommend to stay off of Twitter. Even though I do say follow me on Twitter, follow me just so that you get notified of my videos, but stay off the comments, man. They're toxic. Johnny, I appreciate that. The Bean Mun says, "I'm ETH fan. I doubled down on a dip. I put 75% savings on crypto." Well, that's a lot. You're the man. Love your videos. Ian, appreciate that. What else there? Greg, I know you're kidding, but yeah, don't be spreading that. GJ said, "George, crypto case is super bearish. She believes Tether's going to cause all of crypto to crash down next month or two, causing a black swan. What do you think? Her latest video was scary." I respect Crypto Casey quite a bit. I saw one of her videos where she was talking about explaining fractional reserve banking and so forth. Really detailed, really good, right? But I didn't check out any of her Tether-related video Black Swan events, which I can't say for certain that it won't happen. But, I don't think, and I may be 100% wrong, I don't think it's going to be as bad as it seems. Okay? I think right now, a lot of attention is on stablecoins. A lot of regulars on stablecoins. I think people know that. I think Tether knows that. They are going to be audited soon. They even said that. I read an interview recently. They said they will get fully audited pretty soon, which we will then know whether or not they have any of those funds that they have, right? Even if they don't, okay? Here's the thing. 62 billion, which is a lot. I know it's a lot. And if you take 62 billion out of the market immediately, it will probably cause some havoc. A lot of exchanges could possibly go belly up, right? But that's their negligence, right? If exchanges knew that, or chains knew that USDT isn't reliable or isn't trustworthy, well, then they shouldn't be so heavily, relying on them. That is why USDC has gone up tremendously this year, because a lot of exchanges have realized that, yeah, maybe we shouldn't put so much faith in USDT, right? So USDC is catching up. You could see that the difference between the two is only like 3x now. Like just a year ago, the difference was like 300x. No stable coins are even close, right? Yeah, and look at Binance BUSDs also has climbed up quite a bit. The reason why these stable coins have climbed up is distrust in Tether, and Tether has not grown for quite some time. So, based on what you said, what Crypto Casey said, without hearing what she said, I think the concern is there, but I don't think it's going to be a black swan event. Even if they somehow went 100% belly up and they had no funds whatsoever, I think it would cause havoc temporarily, and we will recover from it. It's not going to be an event where it brings down everything and we never recover from it. I just don't see it. So again, that's just my opinion. I do think even if the regulators don't step in, right? I think the open market is smart enough. That's why USDC and BUSD is increasing, because the open market, like I said, exchanges and these chains, they're like, maybe we should not be so reliant on USDT. Maybe we shouldn't trust them so much, right? So there you go. That's my thought. What did I miss? I gotta scroll up a little bit. What's your thoughts on ETC once ETH has moved to proof of stake? ETC the best option for miners? Probably. All those people with a ton of GPUs, if they can't mine ETH anymore, they're probably gonna move to Ethereum Classic. But that doesn't mean that that'll cause the price to go up. Just because you have a bunch of miners on there does not mean it's gonna cause the price to go up. Although Ethereum Classic is doing pretty well, I gotta say, Ethereum Classic is number 18. It's still holding at 5 billion. Even above my beloved Theta and VeChain. Really strong, right? And that's because I think IOHK is involved with them, and they do have a lot of support from even the Cardano, folks. So yeah, I think that's a natural transition. Whether or not they're going to start rising substantially in price because of it, I don't think so. Dwayne, I appreciate that. Yes. Nathan Wood says, George, Elon smirk when talking about Doge. Anyone else see that? Like he was hiding more than he was saying? I mean, he's probably planning a few things here or there. But he did say that he holds a lot more Bitcoin than Ethereum and Doge, right? Oh, he's had a lot more. Not just more, a lot more. So, I have no doubt. He holds a good amount of Doge. There was theories that he may be holding like $2 billion worth of Doge because of some comment made or something like that on the chain. I think he holds with someone that's worth $150 billion, I have a feeling that whatever he holds of Doge, ETH, and BTC is substantial. It's a lot. It's a lot. Cat. Jerry, don't be shilling that here. Rich says, I don't stake anymore. When you need to sell, you can't. You're all locked up. Yeah, that's the problem, Sometimes you are. Captain McObvious. I have not heard about Kate for a very long time. I don't even know if she's in the game anymore. What else is there? Andre says, did you miss my super chat about ETN? Yes, I didn't see any super chat about Electronum. What's your question about Electronum? Whether or not it's good? I mean, it has potential, but it's hard to get off the ground. I think it's catering to third world countries or developing countries, I should say, emerging markets, and it's any task website, which is a really good idea, but it's being it's being showcased in the U.S. and it doesn't help. So I think that was bad marketing. It should be marketed to where to the markets that they're trying to draw people from. So can it do well? Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's a really all-in-one app that allows the unbanked people to get hired for services and to offer services, and also being a payment gateway. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you could do with it. So it sounds interesting, but it hasn't picked up. All right, anything else? Andrew, every day you chime in and you're shilling the new Lotus Umera. No, it doesn't look like a 488. It still looks like a small Lotus. It doesn't have the presence. People do not like it over the C8, despite what you're claiming. No, it's a fine sports car, I'm sure, but it does not beat a C8. Nor does it look better than a C8. Nor does it perform better than a C8. But I'm glad you liked the Lotus Emira. Every single stream you chime in asking me about the Emira versus C8. It's a dead debate. The C8 wins in every single category, except probably brand. Except that. Craig says, I changed from A-Line to E-Line. Although he messed up, can see him being extremely beneficial for crypto. The man speaks bad, but his ideas were brilliant. I mean, I get it. Yeah, I agree too. I mean, it's one thing to just call him A-Line, but it's another to discount him altogether. You can't. I mean, the guy is who he is because of his moves, his brilliance, his tenacity, his willingness to just keep going, work ethic. I mean, you don't become the world's richest man by accident. You really don't. Despite all the naysayers, you don't. You don't. So he said, even in the stream, that he is a Bitcoin holder. He believes in Bitcoin. Tesla, SpaceX all hold Bitcoin. And he would love to see it, thrive more, right? So I do think, he had to shut down based on what he said was ESG concerns and stuff and coal plants and that. I think that's more pressure from like BlackRock and investors. But, his move seems to have helped the mining companies change slightly. But I kind of agree with you. I agree with you. Not kind of. I do agree with you. Have I heard of Rabbitcoin? No, I have not, and I don't want to talk about it because it sounds like a silly meme coin. James said in a recent show that Musk might have been Satoshi due to his early involvement. Yeah, I don't think so. We could speculate that. A lot of people have claimed that he's Satoshi. I don't think so. Yeah, Michael, I'm not gonna talk about any meme or shit coins. Blaze, appreciate it. Cisco says, I live next to the Austin supercharger factory. My home value went up 300%. Well, that's a good reason to like Elon. All right. Holy cow. Stellar went up 17. I made a little money, but I'm leaving it. Wow, my first profit. Well, congratulations. Congratulations for holding. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. overall, today's not bad. Today's not bad. Bitcoin, obviously, still coming up, right? We'll see if it can continue on, but you know, Ethereum is also coming up. The whole market is coming up. Still today, still recovery day. But you know, main topic is, has Ethereum decoupled from Bitcoin? Has it strayed completely away? Not 100%, not 100%, but based on the last year performance, you can make an argument it's getting pretty close. It holds stronger than Bitcoin. It goes faster than Bitcoin. So pretty soon, maybe with Ethereum 2.0, it will fully decouple from Bitcoin altogether. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Tune in tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.